formula for the weekend for the Black and Chrome is of one word, and that word is vengeance. We have a personal vendetta. We have a grudge to be settled underground. We'll find out who gets more attention and is more relevant. And we'll also see what happens when you play with something and throw it away and it comes back to bite you in the ass. This and so much more on this very simple edition, I expect, for NXT's first PLE of 2026, out of nowhere, made over the last 2 weeks. This is Vengeance Day, and welcome to Simply Predicting. Welcome to the discussion. And I am tired as if, so hopefully this is quick. Hello, everybody, and welcome back here once again to another edition of Simply Predicting. You know what this is, for I am the Superman, the Super Brand, the voice of SS for Professional Wrestling. Damn it. My name is Noah Foster. With me, as always, this is NXT, the Ranking Wrestling JJ Williams. We got one half of the Dominguez. So it looks like it's going to be a triple threat panel tonight, which makes it even more possible that this could be TK simplified. And I'm hoping for just that. Thank you all for tuning in. Please let us subscribe, comment, tell a friend. Again, if you want to be part of the Predictions League, it will be in the comment section down below of each stream, on my community tab on YouTube, and on my X come tomorrow morning. That is Friday morning, March 6th, of course, for everybody across the states as well. And your opinions will be final by 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Saturday evening. That is March 7th. So welcome to this year's kickoff of the NXT PLE Predictions League. Let's go around the horn and see how everyone else feels. As I said, this is NXT. If I had the energy or if I get to a certain boiling point, even though my blood medications make me want to sleep, I might say my phrase now, but for now, I'm going to try not to. But this is NXT. He will definitely tell you more about it. It is the Renegade Wrestling JJ Williams, the hardest working man not named Walter Cruz, despite what people think of me. JJ, how are you? How are you feeling about this kickoff for the Black and Chrome this year and what you've been up to?
I am doing well. I feel like I'm more energetic about this show than you are.
Probably.
I've been doing well. Although, believe it or not, I don't think I've actually watched an entire episode of NXT this calendar year so far.
I'm not surprised. You've been a very busy man. You revived your life. You evolved what the Super Labo Studios is all about. And if you haven't gotten along for the ride, folks, stay tuned for more on this at the end of our stream, cheap plug, and start following the Super Labo Studios today and support the collective. But also, again, like I said, the only show I watch is live once a week. Everything else, thank you, W_matches on YouTube, as I watched all the promos 10 minutes before we went live. But nonetheless, also, annual physical, got a needle in the arm, on blood pressure medications, and woke up from sleeping, that whatever the hell you want to call it, 10 minutes ago. So I think I have a right to be fatigued, despite the fact it is not going to say it right now because you haven't pissed me off. But nonetheless, good to hear, and I hope that you are continuing to do well and even do more well, as you did say that twice. I don't know if you caught that. And nonetheless, it's good to see you, and I'm good to support this and do this with you. And I'm always happy.
I love how you're on blood pressure medication, yet you're willingly here to deal with us. Where's Charles when we need him?
Don't say his name. I don't think he's going to appear. But nonetheless,
oh, Charles.
The things I do for friends and for professional wrestling fans, positive outlook of entertainment. It is what I guess I am what I am. Anyway, thank you for that. And also, part of the panel, again, give them the support, the love. They are the VIPs in the City Labo Studios. Then, now, forever. One half of Dominguez. Emmanuel, of course, the founder, creator, and owner of Interactive Games and Movies. If you haven't already, subscribe today. He just did some Sim stuff. Emmanuel, how are you?
I'm doing good. I mean, it's been an interesting couple of NXTs. Some surprising decisions, which I was surprised at. Like they had the North American title change in a random NXT episode. I'm like I was like, what are they doing? I wish they could have stayed that for the PLE, but apparently they needed to pull the trigger and more sooner than later. So I'm intrigued where these storylines come and for Stand and Deliver. Like, is Stand and Deliver no longer a coalition with the WrestleMania weekend? I got
No.
no idea because it feels like this is like their WrestleMania pay per view card. To be honest, so now it makes me wonder what the future of then what the standard deliver mean for NXT as as a future pay per view card.
That's fair, but to get to the future, you have to first get through the present, and to get to the present, you have to look back to the past. So, simply put, I will say this: there are definitely some unique matches here, just from what I've seen recently, that have drawn my intrigue. As of course, right now, your NXT is reshaping its landscape since the three biggest stars are now up on the main roster, and two of them right now know their place. The other one doesn't know their place yet. But that's a whole different conversation. As of course, now with WWE, we're on the road to WrestleMania. But before we get there, your brand, good luck, will on its own truly have to stand and deliver. But much to Manuel's point, yeah, Vengeance Day, a weird show. Used to be like the Valentine's Day weekend tradition, but I guess Vengeance is in March, despite the fact March is the month of luck. Luck, vengeance. I don't know if they can coexist, but it is what it is in the WWE calendar year. Without further ado, good to see City, Sipping Labo Studios, family, viewers, panelists, predictioners, NXT faithful, the then, the now, influencers, fans, debaters. Let's get right into it. And again, folks, it'll be me and Walter Cruz on the call. So at least you got a commentary team with more brains and chemistry and energy than Vic Joseph and Booker T. Then again, Walter's questionable. Nonetheless, it is
Oh
Vengeance
yeah,
Day.
man.
Damn it. It is Vengeance Day this Saturday. NXT Vengeance Day is presented to you on NBC Peacock. That is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We, of course, will be going live probably quarter till, not 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And again, your predictions will be final come 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this Saturday, March 7th. We got count them, 5 matches on tap. The classic NXT TakeOver formula. And we will see if it's worthy of doing a spin-a-rooney by the end of it. Let's go ahead and get right into things. We're going to start off with, when I think of vengeance, as I am Italian, I think of a vendetta. And we've seen the Don return with one because everything was taken away from him. You took my family. Now I take your life. And we'll see if this man sleeps with the fishes or literally is left in the dark. Because now we have Tony D'Angelo's first match. You heard me right. First match since he came back against Dion Lennox. Now, for those that want to premise further beyond this, of course, last time we saw the Don, it was literally the end of the Tony D'Angelo family as we knew it, with Stax and the lawyer guy. And of course, Tony D came back. We weren't sure what he was about, dropping black pieces of paper, shredded. Obviously, it was Dark State inspired, as he wanted to leave his past and everybody in the dark towards what he was doing. He liked being that mystery, that surprise. He finally came forward on NXT a few weeks ago and told us what his purpose was: to take everything from Dark State and to end them. It is also one of those things where, thank you for that, by the way. Again, I don't watch NXT weekly. I've only looked at the last few things. Thank you for that. Apparently, he had a match with one member of the Dark State that led to this too. But again, that match is irrelevant because, let's be honest here, when you say Dark State, you puke in your mouth. But the Athletics is the one guy that stood out with Dark State, considering he was literally involved in the Iron Survivor Challenge. So this guy might be relevant. But it's his relevancy with Dark State going to end this Saturday at Vengeance Day when Tony D finally gets his hands on him. Straight up, this is a one-on-one match considering Tony D has been Dark State's worst influence and worst thing that ever happened to them, including losing the NXT Tag Team Championships to the Vanity Project. What the fuck? Is this MXN's Collections MXT? That being said, we have a singles match here, but it wouldn't surprise me if the rest of Dark State gets involved. All right, y'all know how this goes. Here on Cinema Team, because of the panel size and the match card, everyone will put their thoughts in. So, of course, we will see who agrees, disagrees, or if this is unanimous. Again, this was Tony D's mission statement, and he's literally trying to cut the head off the snake. Because when you look at Dark State, it does become more permanent than Dion Lennox, in my opinion. So there's this thing where it ends. Is vengeance carried out, or does it linger, and can it stand and deliver? Let's find out what you think. Emmanuel, I will start with you. We're going to go counterclockwise this time. So, Emmanuel, what do you think about this singles match? You got the Dom, you have Dark State putting him back in the dark for the time being.
I have Tony D'Angelo winning this one. Eventually, he's gonna go through the art of Dark State. I predict a 4 versus 1 type of matchup, like a gauntlet match type of scenario. But yeah, like I'm not sure what they're gonna do with Dark State itself. Like they kind of position Tony D'Angelo as a non like like object that can be stopped or reckoned with. Like he's NXT like World Championship material. So, but that's what it looks like. But yeah, it's one of those things that let's see what happens first and what's going to happen. But yeah, at this point, Tony D'Angelo for the win.
Well, JJ, of course, went over Femi vacated the NXT Championship, and we just saw it in the light who was looming in the dark, watching on, and who ever Rain fought had the most to give to NXT in that abeyance because of his tenure. Tony D is one of your original guys that goes all the way back to Rainbow Bright shit. So, that being said, he is anything but a positive, colorful light nowadays. He's a dark, vengeful spirit. So, do you think he is Dark State's downfall this Saturday at Vengeance Day? Does this continue somehow into an even darker affair? What do you think?
Well, again, as I pointed out when I gave my little introduction, I haven't tuned into NXT for a minute.
I respect that.
My question is Tony D a baby face or a heel?
I say vigilante at this point, much like the IPs I played in Watch Dogs, because at the end of the day, I don't think no one likes Dark State, but I don't think no one right now can figure out what Tony D'Angelo is truly about. Is this all he came back for, or is there more? But I would say right now, he is the hero we want to see succeed in this story. Emmanuel, I do see your hand real quick. What you got to say real quick?
For JJ's a question, he's right now the Stone Cold. He's taking everybody and beating up everybody. Doesn't matter who it is. He's just gonna beat you up. He's been attacking random people and baby face and heels. So
See,
it's
we got to be careful with stuff like that then, because
Exactly.
this could accidentally turn Dark State babyface. And I don't know if we want that.
I ain't gonna buy into that shit. Tell you that much.
I was gonna say, I don't know if we can buy Dark State as baby faces with their entire modus operandi. Like, they just don't work as good guys. I get the whole dark vigilante thing. I mean, hello, I have the Dark Knight on my shoulder.
Why you think I said vigilante in the first place, bruv? Continue.
So I totally get that, but Tony D needs to decide if he's going to go after the good guys or the bad guys. Because if he's going to go after both, we run the risk of fucking Dark State up here.
So far, I've only seen Dark State and even Page be his targets. I consider them bad guys.
Those are both bad guys. The thing here that we have to keep in mind is Dark State has the numbers game.
Correct.
They have 4 to Tony D's 1.
Correct.
So does Tony D take out everybody in Dark State one at a time, starting with the de facto leader? I don't buy that. I would buy it if he started with some of the throwaway members of Dark State first.
Exactly.
And worked his way up to Dion Lennox. I almost wonder if we're going to end up with either a revived or a new D'Angelo family coming out of this. You know, and the lawyer's name was Luca Crucifino, by the way.
Yeah, that guy.
I've got Dark State getting the dub here. I got Dion Lennox getting the dub. Because I just think that the numbers are going to be too much for Tony.
It doesn't happen often, JJ, as you put me at the split. And again, shout out to City by the Bay. Appreciate your thoughts. If we have time, we might talk about that a little bit more because you could probably give a little bit more about the NXT roster right now that's in a reset mode. But as far as this, most women, keep it simple. That being said, I have to agree with you. Like I said, he's trying to go after the proverbial head of the four-headed snake. And it's going to be four heads because, again, Tony D cost them the tag team championships to MXN Collections NXT. It's just one of those things right now until I truly see weakness in the numbers game by Dark State. Tony D's not enough. And I don't think beating the one with the most character, presentation, exposure, growth, and overall probably awareness to the NXT audience is the way to go out the gate. You're talking about some Cutler guy that's more forgotten than the one from the Forgotten Son. All right, then. But nonetheless, it's just one of those things right now where I look at Dion Lennox. Is he leader? Is he wild card? Because he's definitely a hothead. But I just don't think that Tony D right now gets his vengeance all at Vengeance Day. At the end of the day, Vengeance is not about a win, I think, for Tony D. It's payback. And of course, they can't use payback. That's a main level WPLE thing, and I don't know if that's ever coming back. So right now, I agree with you. I do think Dion Lennox is going to win, but I think he's going to win by DQ. Because much to your point, I think it's going to be the numbers game, but Tony D is going to try and stop them. Rep loses control, but Tony D throws the first shot, doesn't know what to do. Somehow Dion Lennox declared the winner because of rage, because he uses a weapon on his opponent. So I'm going with Dion Lennox via DQ. Dion Lennox.
And I'm going to, before you move on, I'm going to ask politely that you put some respect on the Vanity Project's name. They are deserving of some respect. At least they don't lose matches in a minute, like some inspiring acts.
Well, you don't know the whole story behind that unless you remember what they did in WWE with them, so I'll leave that alone because I'm just waiting for the moment. But that's a whole different conversation. If y'all don't know, AEW. And stay tuned next week when we cover AEW Revolution on City Dating.
Ahead of me going to the pay-per-view live.
Have fun. Ahead of a date and time to be determined as I look at other people's schedules that truly are all elite fans with passion and interest like me. All right. That being said, we got two Dions, but I have a DQ situation, and we got a Tony D. So we'll see if the Don delivers for Emmanuel out the gate in simply predicting. All right. Good job. Let's go ahead. Yes, I see your hand.
Don't be surprised. No, it could be the other way around. Like DQ from Dark State because they ambushed Tony D, and you know that's what causes the win for Tony.
That's
fair. That is absolutely fair. I mean, literally, I can see it both ways. I just don't think this ends with a straightforward decision. And I damn sure don't think this vendetta ends for Tony D after Saturday against Dark State. That's all I got to say.
Saturday.
No, copyright. We're getting collision, though. It's a whole different type of collision. Speaking of collisions, this card gives us 3 women's collisions, as the women will certainly carry the show before the main event, if you believe what I mean. So, that being said, we're going to take things underground because he's not here, but I'll do it for him. He's Mamacita Lola Vice, who is undefeated in underground matches. 3-0, by the way. She goes one-on-one with a compromised hand, and she can risk definite injury if she's not careful, against Kalani Jordan. So let's see if her can KO one half of the current AAA Mixed Tag Team Champions. This really has escalated over the last few weeks when you think about Kalani Jordan and Lola Vice's fallout. At one point, again, Kalani Jordan literally injured Lola Vice's hand. She's also cost her match opportunities regarding championship contentions. Of course, the last time we saw Kalani Jordan on TV, she got the better of Lola Vice in a TV match by dubious means, using that injury to her advantage. They are currently 1-1 against each other this year alone. Remember, it was Kendall Gray that outlasted both Kalani Jordan and Lola Vice in the Iron Survivor Challenge, where this really started from. And remember how that freaking escalated when these two got in the ring with each other. So now we're going to remove the ropes, drop the lights, and go MMA style. And again, Lola Vice is undefeated in underground matches. She has been in 3 of them, but Kalani believes gymnastics can work here, and she's even trained with Shayna Baszler. With wins over Jada Parker, Shayna Baszler, and Natalia, not Natty, Natalia, does Lola Vice make it 4-0, or does her deliver a KO? Or, as she believes she can do, tap her out? That's a bold statement, Kalani Jordan. You best watch out. Let's go around and see what you all think. We're going to go a different order this time, and that means clockwise. So, JJ, Kalani Jordan, the her of him, who has been down here for a period of time, and Lola Vice has yet to win a championship in NXT and might literally risk further injury. What do you think about this underground match?
Well, I fully expect this match to start the show.
I also agree about that.
Traditionally, Underground has been main events, but you're not going to put this over the NXT Championship match. So
No.
you start the show with it, match ends, then you can put the ropes up for the rest of the show.
Exactly.
While WWE shows a video package.
There's some dumb nonsense for 5 damn minutes. Anyway, continue.
I've got Lola here.
You keep her string alive.
Primarily because she's undefeated in the Underground. Everyone's got to lose at some point. I'll give you that, but I think the fact that she hasn't won any championships, this is like the Undertaker's streak at WrestleMania. Yes, eventually that came to an end, and we don't agree with the way it came to an end. A lot of us. But this only puts her at 4-0, not 22-0.
Correct.
So we've got some time. But I think the Underground is going to be akin to Undertaker's streak for Lola. And I think she'll be moved up to the main roster before she can lose the Underground streak.
So you
We've
think
also
that...
got to keep in mind,
Go ahead.
and correct me if I'm wrong, but in the Underground matches, aren't they usually allowed a corner person?
That is correct.
So Mr. Iguana will probably be nearby with Layeska. Kilani's pretty much pissed off the entire locker room.
Yes.
Who's going to have her back?
Maybe Shayna, who trained her, and Shayna may want revenge just cuz. And you set this as a one-off for Stand Deliver, considering she's a former MMA fighter as well, but also the most notorious NXT Women's Champion in NXT history. And also, you would run back maybe Lola Vice and Shayna Baszler. Again, Shayna Baszler was one of her victims. And Shayna even said she is as legit as it comes. For those that don't know, Valerie Rivera, Lola Vice, is a former MMA fighter. And she won most of her matches via knockout.
And I don't think they'll tease something with Shayna at Stand and Deliver, because Shayna is booked for Bloodsport in Vegas. Shayna's not going to risk getting injured for a company that she's not fully employed by and risk a decent paying gig for Josh Barnett.
Yeah, that's you know what? That's a fair shout. I didn't think about that. But all right.
And they also just announced Pete Dunne yesterday. He'll be
you mean
part of
not
Bloodsport as well.
So it's not a Grande Americano's brochacho that's cheapo.
No.
It's actually the Bruiserweight?
Yes, it is Pete Dunne. I know he's one of them. Is it Rayo or Bravo? I'm not sure which one he portrays.
I don't
Doesn't
give
matter.
a flying fuck.
I'm not trying to get you incited. That's why I said it doesn't matter. But Pete Dunne will be in Bloodsport as well. And Dean, Hostman, it does look like we have a super chat from the founding father here.
Look at that. Watching from a sick bed with regrets and having a bout on Friday commentary for a vocal recovery for Saturday, as I really want to be part of this call and shenanigans. Well, I definitely, again, Jeff, you know what I always talk about. Take care of yourself first and foremost. Priorities over passions. And I hope that you do get better. And I look forward to you being part of Saturday night for the shenanigans, as always. Of course, folks, the Weekly Monday Conversation of Wrestling Matters, hosted by Rankin Wrestling, JJ Williams, the Saturday shenanigans that will ensue following our next Boulder Mania interview. Stay tuned for further details on that at the end of this video. Again, Jeff, take care and thank you. With that being said,
I think it's the interview that he more wants to be part of ever since I
yeah,
told
yeah,
him
yeah,
that she's a hockey fan
yeah.
and even plays some hockey. So
Oh, she's
I
been
know
enjoying.
that I wouldn't call her a pro,
Mm-hmm.
but now knowing that there's a hockey fanatic that's going to be joining us, Jeff wants to be there for that. And Nick even threw out on socials, and I'll bring this all up later, that everyone that's going to be on the interview should wear their favorite hockey jersey.
Well,
I
I'm in.
know you don't have one,
Damn
so
right.
you can just stick to your suit, but everybody else that's going to be on the show needs to wear a hockey jersey. Damn it.
Well,
Let's
someone's gonna. Yeah,
let's
I
do
get it.
this up. Let's do this up right. And I know Jeff and I have got a ton to choose from.
Well, one of you will probably be in the penalty box, or one of you might literally be getting a puck not for your teeth. But that being said, you got Lola Vice knocking out Kalani Jordan in the underground, staying undefeated.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, there you go. So the opening bow has been set to Mamacita Lola Vice. Walter Cruz approved. Again, if you haven't already, subscribe to Rage Wrestling the Gay. That's Mr. Reliable, Rage of Wrestling. Walter, see you Saturday, brother. Emmanuel, what do you think here? Kalani Jordan basically has been kind of lost in existence since her, representing TNA and not representing the NXT Women's Locker Room. By the way, once I had that segment, sorry, Chica, you represented TNA. It was Lola Vice that was the one that literally dropped her gear off her locker room last and closed the door in her face. And I think that's really where this started from. Not necessarily the Iron Survivor, just a little bit of foreshadowing from things that happened earlier. Again, folks, even for the stuff I don't watch, it's not about me, it's about wrestling. I try and keep up with the stories. This is why I literally lead Simply Predicting and encourage people to judge your life and enjoy wrestling. Sometimes I'm literally a victim of my own freaking humbleness. Anyway, Emmanuel, what you got to say here? Do you agree with JJ with all advice? Do you got Kalani Jordan?
Yeah, I think I agree with JJ. I mean, I was contemplating with this one, going with Kalani, to be because eventually, this is like a specialty match, because of and I was thinking of who had the most specialty wins of all time, and I was looking for the Undertaker. Undertaker is like for casket match, like he has won 3, and then he lost 4, and then I looked up for the burial lab match. He won 2, but lost 3. So this record is like for special team matches, like
Not that
half and
great.
half. So no, not that great. So it makes me wonder, if they actually gonna pull the trigger and have Kalani talk smack, like he's the first, she's the first one to beat Lola Vice in that type of match, because it never has been done before. So it makes
Remember
me
the rules,
wonder.
by the way, folks, in case you don't know. No counts, no pinfalls. The only way to win is by knockout, TKO, or submission, and Lola Vice is a bad hand.
Yeah, and that
That's
hand
good.
is not 100%. Yeah, 100% healed. So it makes you wonder, how healed is that hand? Like, is it going to be one of those storylines that the babyface overcomes her injuries, or that injuries going to be too much that she's going to tap out again? But we already saw that in a previous match with Kalani versus Lola, and Lola tapped. So we're going to see the opposite now. We're going to see Lola get her win back.
Yeah, fair enough. JJ, what you got to say real quick?
I was just going to add, just because something is someone's specialty doesn't mean they always have the best record at it. Shawn
Exactly.
Michaels is considered Mr. WrestleMania, but has lost at WrestleMania more than he's won.
I think he still has a better record, though, than Triple A.
He's got a
Just
better
saying.
record than Asuka, that's for sure.
Well, Asuka's never won at WrestleMania. So-
Exactly.
sorry, folks. It's history. It is what it is. What I do here. And again, well, it's not here, but again, sorry in advance, brother. All right. So that being said, Mama
Michael Cole
Sita,
has a better record than Shawn Michaels.
that is that is such an embarrassment to the marquee of WrestleMania, where AJ Styles even said that it's not as big as it used to be, and that That is for both things, accurate and accurate. All right. With that being said, Mamacita, Mamacita. Mamacita. I think Lola Vice right now is the one to own the underground for the time being, much to JJ's point. The last underground match, ironically enough, was Deadline, if you all remember that. It's just one of those things right now, even with a bad hand. And Kalani Jordan, this is not her world. Gymnastics doesn't beat a former MMA fighter, in my opinion. I just don't see a means for her to win here. And with how personal this got, and with the point that she's trying to injure Lola Vice is going to knock her the fuck out. If Lola Vice is not going to win a championship anytime soon, especially after numerous occasions, at least give her this, in my opinion, because I do think there is more stock in her than in Kalani Jordan right now in the WWE landscape or ecosystem. So I got Lola Vice as well, staying undefeated in the underground, 4-0, and I think she is going to somehow, with her right hand, knock her the fuck out. I got Lola. All right, and as far as that goes with the idea of the NXT Women's Championship, I guess the interim GM, Robert Stone, is going to have an announcement regarding that. Does anyone want to guess anything besides Triple Threat with Soruka and freaking sorry after both women snatched each other's souls? Bitch. Out of the championship opportunity. Hey, look at that. Another women's tag team breaks up in WWE. Where have I heard that before? But that being said, the WTF of last year so far has still held the gold. So, I mean, maybe she can stand and deliver against both of them. I don't know. Then again, Lola Vice, she's overdue. I think Lola Vice is overdue for an NXT Women's Championship chance versus a run, but a whole different conversation. And this could push her towards that. What you got to say real quick, Emmanuel?
Even though I hate John Cena, but John Cena fact, John Cena is 5-0 in an I Quit match. He has never lost.
He never lost. He never quit. He never gave up until he tapped out the Gunther. And yes, that was his fifth actual time in his career, folks, for those that actually keep up with statistics. All right, well, now that we're back in the color, let's go ahead and keep this thing rolling. That being said, from the underground to a dollhouse of destruction. Because what happens when you play with someone's emotions to the point that they tell you what happens when you throw away things you play with? Let's find out what happens here with Izzy Dame and Tina Paxley for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Of course, this all really picked up last year after Tina Paxley joined the calling. She had her great celebratory moment, winning her first, of course, NXT Women's Championship at Halloween Havoc, and immediately lost to that gold rush after Izzy Dame and the calling did not agree with her fun. Things further escalated with these two, of course, at a deadline where they had a one-on-one match, and of course, Izzy Dame played on Tina Paxley's emotions, saying that she is unlovable. Damn. That being said, Izzy Dame also shocked the hell out of us when not only she won the NXT Women's North American Championship from Thea Hale, of course, after losing to Tatum Paxley that night. While Tatum Paxley may have got the better of Izzy Dame in the calling that night, it was Izzy Dame that got the golden opportunity and seized the prize. So now Tatum Paxley, who has literally been the calling's undoing, is looking to take everything from Izzy Dame and send a real painful message in who she actually is, saying that she has found who she is. This is the real Tatum Paxley. What the fuck does that mean? You tell me. Does she go carry? Do we get a new champion? Or is it once again, game over? Let's go around the horn and see what y'all think about this match. It's super easy here because I got three people, so we're just going to keep turning the clock the opposite way, which means Emmanuel kicks things off. Emmanuel, what do you have to say real quick here regarding this match for the NXT Women's North American Championship? Might I add, folks, this is Izzy Dame's first defense. Last champion went 0D. I wonder if this one could. What do you got to say, Emmanuel? Do you got a new NXT Women's North American Champion?
Man, this is a tough one for me, to be honest. Izzy Dane really hasn't done much with that title, because she it's one of those heel things. Like, she's not gonna defend the title till somebody orders it. Like, she's gonna keep denying it and until somebody puts her in the match. Just like assuring somebody in SmackDown, who shall not be named, who's holding a women's championship right now.
Julia?
And he just...
I think he means Well,
J2, like,
yeah, let's just call it what it is. Both, but we're not going there. Not yet. Stay tuned for John Oliver tonight, roasting the SmackDown Women's Division on Superman tonight on the YouTube screen near you. Continue, Emmanuel.
yeah. So I want, like I said, this should have been standard delivered, but since things changed, like I guess they're doing this more earlier, and I had actually winning the North American title, regardless of their first match. That way, we could stop this storyline because Dane winning this it feels like they could prolong this a little bit more longer, but we don't want that. It's a done deal. Like I feel like it's time to move on from this. AZ just is a traditional champion, and she had a good run. And let's see what Tatum does as a babyface, and because there's a lot of heels that could face right now easy like a Mariah May, Kalani Jordan if she wants to go through that venture again, like a Zarya. Like there's a lot of opponents that Easy Dane, like Tatum Paxley could face. Tatum, I mean, Easy doesn't have as much options to be honest as babyface. Let's take the push at DL, like, but they gave DL a North American title, but
By mistake.
yeah, yeah, it's a possibility still. It's no longer a mistake now. They actually give it to her because she earned the title. But other than that, I don't see other matches that Easy could have. So I kept Tatum Paxley for the win.
Ironically enough, Tam Paxley was the one that gave Lola Vice her last chance at the NXT Women's Championship. So I also do see what you mean. Shout out, by the way, to our Canadian friend, Ash. Subscribe to Bad for Wrestling. Check out me and her, the Baddie Bracket Breakdown. That's the appropriate name, folks. At Bad for Wrestling. Thank you for those that tuned in. All right, Gato, stay tuned. We cover the New Japan Cup final and outlook, etc. And she says Paxley and Dave could be good. I love Paxley. I love her creepy doll vibes. Of course you do. She's the living Wednesday Addams of this NXT roster. All right. Well, that being said, you got Tam Paxley coming, the new NXT Women's North American Champion. Well, JJ, you talk about all the time. Some of the greatest acts in wrestling, they go in threes, if not most stories. And both women are 1-1 against each other. Their initial first time one-on-one, of course, is Dame, praying her emotions. The other time, though, got the bear of her at New Year's Evil. Now we got the NXT Women's North American Championship and Tam Paxley showing us exactly who she is, but also proving Izzy Dame, I don't need to be loved. I just have to beat you because you just need to know what my pain feels like and what happens when you throw away things you play with. Personal vendetta again. The story of revenge on Vengeance Day is this: Tam Paxley's vengeance and her first women's NXT North American Championship. Do you agree with Emmanuel?
Before I give my thoughts here, if WWE brass does not reach out to Sarah McLachlan for use of the song "When She Loved Me," I'ma be so mad, because the whole analogy of a doll being thrown out is Jesse's story. And you throw that underneath a video highlight package of Tatum and Izzy becoming best friends, Tatum winning the championship, the culling turning on her, and Dave Meltzer would give the video package 8.5 stars.
I gave it 0. I'm not a Disney fan. You're not getting no emotion out of me. Nice try. And shout out to Arlene Dominguez that's officially joining in. As of course we love and appreciate her. Thank you so much. We'll go to you after JJ. That being said, stop trying to turn W into Disney and making me hate it even more. That being said,
well, look,
JJ.
they're on ESPN. ESPN is owned by Disney. I'm just saying. Jeff in the chat room talked about loading up Disney Plus and being able to see Hulk Hogan, because he's in the Then Now Forever segments, in the same place that he can see Mickey the Mouse.
I hate this world.
I'm just saying.
All right. That being
But
said, from
but
video
but
choreography to wrestling.
and you can sit here and you can talk about your disdain for Disney all you want. Number one, Toy Story is Pixar. And number
That's
two,
still
when
Disney.
once you were a wee lad, I know you watched Toy Story. So don't even sit here and try to convince me that you don't know what I'm talking about
One,
and
I
that
know
it
what you're
wouldn't
talking.
work.
One, I know what you're talking about. Two, I know it worked. Three, I wouldn't give a fuck. Now continue.
You'd pop. I think deep down inside you'd pop. But this needs to be the end of it, regardless of what happens. The only way I could see it not being the end is if it went to a time limit drop. But WWE doesn't really do time limits.
No.
They never stress, unless it's an Iron Man match, they don't stress how much time a match has. You don't hear the PA announcer saying, 10 minutes remain, 5 minutes remain. And that's not a dig at AEW, it's just something they do differently. So that's the only, double disqualification, double count out. Unless there is some kind of schmozzy finish here that forces the next round, last woman standing maybe, for stand and deliver, then this needs to be it. What sucks is that you've got Roadblock and then stand and deliver. So you've still got two more decent sized shows for this to get ran back on. And Roadblock is like the go home show to stand and deliver. So two big shows in a week. Because Roadblock is the 31st, and then stand and deliver is that Saturday.
That's a brilliant strategy.
Roadblock is a Tuesday special. So
Fair enough.
whatever is whatever. But we can't predict a schmozzy finish. So I'm going to say that Izzy leaves with the title. Because that's what we go for at the end of the day. I say Izzy leaves with the title.
So you do have this thing going out possibly to a disqualification.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, if she gets the real Tatum.
Because at the end of the day, this has been one of the best rivalries in my NXT for the last 6 months. It deserves to be paid off at Stand and Deliver.
One longer.
So how do we get there?
I got a couple of ideas, but I'll see your decision and match you, even though I don't play poker. Yeah, I agree. It's just one of those things right now where, again, the placement of this and the drive it right now feels like it's only going to escalate from here. So Tatum Paxley is going to prove to Izzy Dame that I'm the one in your head. I don't need to be necessarily loved by you, but I am lovable, and I know who I am. But I also get the fact that if she's inspired by Alexa Bliss didn't have her moment, then maybe this is her moment here. And like you talked about, maybe they do stand deliver. Hell, freaking Emmanuel talking about casket matches. These two might literally not stop until one of them is literally 6 feet under. It's just one of those things right now, looking at the show called Vengeance Day. Someone's vengeance, in my opinion, has to be carried out. And it's either going to happen in this match or it's going to happen in Tony D versus Deion Lennox. And based on how long this has gone, and it's their third act, I actually got Tam Paxley winning the championship. It's just one of those things right now, though, that I don't think Izzy Dame needs this title. She's done nothing with it. Jack Dilly, yes, she took the opportunity from Tam Paxley, who beat her that same night, but do I need to see Izzy Dame right now as the NXT Women's North American champion when her psychology as a heel has been the thing driving her forward in this storyline? No. So I'm actually going to wing it here after Tam Paxley shocked the F out of me at Halloween Havoc and says that she gets a moment here. I think it'd be nice for her to get the moment to stand deliver, but this show plays more on the premise of her character. So I'm going with Tam Paxley as she becomes the new champion. But I do think Izzy Dame's going to be dealing with a force she should not have played with or took likely. Amanda, I did see her hand. What you got to say real quick while Arlene figures out her stuff?
Yeah, like right now, like I was gonna tell Jaden, like right now we haven't seen Tatum. Like I haven't seen the last 2 weeks of NXT, but we haven't seen Tatum on TV at all. So we might see like how Undertaker how he flew off for the casket when Yokozuna like in the Survivor Series type of match, like and I mean Royal Rumble type of match, and everybody gathered and beat up the Undertaker, and he revived himself to a new Undertaker. So we might see a new Tame Pax League for this.
Fair enough. Well, that being said, let's get a new Arlene mindset out of this, considering she is here as an observer, not a participant. So way less stress for her, and I appreciate that. But it's good to have Arlene Dominguez, of course, winner of the NXT League for 2024, here in 2026. Pure observer. Arlene, how are you? How you feel about Vengeance Day? And please give your thoughts to the Women's North American Championship. Because right now, it's 2 Tatums, 1 Izzy. What do you think?
Um, since this is their third match, I would think like they're gonna give it to Tatum. But then I was hearing like what JJ was saying about maybe when waiting for NXT Stand and Deliver. But now that it's not part of the WrestleMania, I don't know if they might pull the trigger. But then like if Izzy goes into this one, what would be the next step for them, like in a Hell in a Cell match for the title? Or like where do you go from here, I feels like, like the storyline, like my brother said, has come to an end, but at the same time I feel like deep down, like I feel like Izzy's not gonna win. I mean not win, but is gonna leave with the title, and Tatum should have won, kind of thing. So I think that's kind of like the direction they're gonna go. I don't think they should go that route. I think they should just give it to Tatum, since like now that NXT is not part of the thingy, but it sets new eyes on, now that they changed it from the WrestleMania thing to get more people to view it. Maybe they'll pull that trigger on NXT Stand and Deliver, but not part of WrestleMania. So I'm gonna kind of go with JG on this. I think Izzy goes out with the title only because of disqualification.
All
That's the
right,
only
fair
way
enough.
reason why she's leaving with the title is because she gets disqualified, and they're gonna pull the trigger most likely because now that they changed the date, I think they want more people to keep their eyes on it. So
Okay, so it's crisscrossed here. JJ, I see your hand real quick, and then we'll go around back to get our quick picks in the other match before we move into our semi-main. What you guys say real quick regarding that?
Yeah, I just wanted to touch on what Arlene said. If the rumors are to be believed,
Uh-uh.
the reason that they moved Stand and Deliver is because they feel like it's too big, too important now to be shoehorned into WrestleMania as just another attraction. You know, there's so much already going on that Stand and Deliver. The whole point of Stand and Deliver was their opportunity to stand and deliver on the same level. Moving it to the week prior, 2 weeks prior, whatever it is, or the week after, I think gives it that opportunity. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm not slightly perturbed that they decided to do it this year, because Walter and I were very much looking to attend Stand and Deliver. But alas, it is what it is. So just keep that in mind, is that if that is to be believed and their excuses are to be believed, this could be the biggest Stand and Deliver to date.
All right, you're putting a lot of stock into this, so
I,
good luck with that thought.
I'm just saying, if it's to be believed, I'm not saying that I buy completely what they're selling, but let's just take it at surface level here.
Grain of salt. Fair enough. I need to cut back on my sodium too. All right. I saw Emmanuel's hand first, and then Arlene. Emmanuel, go ahead. Then we'll go to you, Arlene. Then we'll also get your match picks for the previous matches. Emmanuel, what you got to say real quick?
Yeah, like I think the reason why they moved Stand and Deliver, to be honest, when we went to Stand and Deliver, or you could confirm this, like like we're hyped. We're energetic. That's why night one felt so flat because I'm not sure how many people went to Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania the same weekend day, but that Stand and Deliver was really amazing for us. That was our WrestleMania for us, and to go to have the energy and to keep it up. Maybe that's the reason why they moved it because the crowd was too burned out, and that's why it felt so flat, and not that many people were as hyped as it was. So that's why they moved it in a different day.
Okay, that makes sense because you literally are a few hours apart where you're either stuck in traffic or walking down the strip to Allegiant Stadium to just stand in line to sit in a seat for 3 hours just for a show that's 4 hours and then to get the frick home or to your hotel. That could literally burn anybody out. I've never done that before, so I can literally understand that point. And this is the one time I would literally say credence to your point and to JJ's delight. Stand Deliver was more fun for me to actually call versus WrestleMania on night one because it was a better card. I thoroughly enjoyed the women four-way, the ladder match, and that triple threat with Ova, Trick, and Javon, who are now on the main roster 1 year later, was probably my match of the weekend outside the women three-way. So I definitely can respect and follow that point. Very well said. All right, Arlene, what do you guys say real quick? And then we'll get your thoughts on the previous matches regarding everything that you heard too. Or did you want to like add to Mayo's point? Go ahead, floor is yours.
Both actually. I agree with JJ when it comes to like if the rumors are true that they think that NXT is too big of a show. That should show WWE that NXT is better than their own call, like it's better than them, so to say. I mean, NXT is supposed to be the step up to WWE. Now it's NXT making it seem like people should be going to NXT instead of WWE. The way NXT has been on fire,
I don't
with
know if I get the
like
microphone
last year,
that
based
much
on last year's, like my brother said, like that NXT was amazing. Like the crowd was in it. It was a sight to behold, and getting to see the main event and stuff, and it was great. And like my brother said, it was tiring because after that we had a meet and greet with Stone Cold, and we had to go all the way to the Westgate Hotel because that's where they like. Well, it's close to the Westgate. I forget
What?
the name of the convention. Oh, the Las Vegas Convention Center. So
Mm-hmm.
it's near that. So we had to drive all the way over there to go to the meet and greet, then have to drive back. It was like back and forth. It wasn't like the stadium was like near where they were having the meet and greets. So we were kind of crunching
Oh.
for time. So we barely made it in time to match one because we were stuck in traffic. Traffic was that
Damn.
bad in yeah, in Vegas, trying to get to the
They got
stadium. So
seven
it's like,
streets on each side of the strip, and you still get stuck in fucking traffic.
yeah, so it was crazy, but like to me that like last year, like you said, Noah, NXT was more better that night than WWE, and that's saying a lot. That should open WWE's eyes that maybe they should do better with their matches. And based on the matches that they have so far, it's like, they need some work. So yeah, that's all I had to say. Like with that, I agree with JJ. I think it's like mind opening that people that even though they said the night one was sold out, we saw a lot of seats empty. When it came to the T-Mobile area, they did have a section blocked off, but most of that
Figure.
stadium was full, and like just like the crowd, like my brother said, was so into it, and just like you could tell the people that watch NXT and now watch WWE that follow those superstars. You could tell that when you watch both brands. When you don't watch both brands, you kind of get those fans that don't know what's going on. Like, who's that? And you have to explain to them. So one of the things, like my friend that only watched WWE, I'm like, you gotta watch NXT because it's like it's kind of hard to tell you who these people are during the match because we're so invested in the match. So
That's
my I
okay.
so
Okay, fair enough. Well, also, you're both fucking crazy for doing all that. That's
yeah.
your fault and your own mentality. God bless y'all for surviving. Secondly, like I said, the black and gold, it was the standard of WWE for me as a fan. Black and chrome, not so much. But I will say that Stand and Deliver was personally my favorite thing of the entire WrestleMania weekend for WWE. And as far as right now, WWE year ago, where NXT is more of a similarity to a soft Timu, poor fusion, Goku Vegeta, Monday Night Raw, and SmackDown, the Vengeance Day card versus Elimination Chamber and Royal Rumble right now has my investment more. So that says a lot so far for the start of this year. And the biggest reason for it is because I still have acts that I care about. And it also seems like they revitalized a lot of the talent roster here. These new names, take some used to. Again, I don't know where I'm going to go with that. But as far as NXT still being more than what the WWE main roster is, don't know if I would go that far. But right now, this first period for NXT, it's already seems a little bit more intriguing to me than what WWE's done so far in this Chamber and Royal Rumble. Just saying. That being said, let's go ahead and get your quick picks real quick on these matches. You were fine. Quick picks real quick on these matches. You got Tony D carrying out Vengeance against Dion Lennox. You got Dion Lennox leaving him in the dark.
I'm just curious. What did everybody pick? I heard my
It
brother's
was,
pick, but what did you and JJ pick?
we picked Dion.
Me too.
You picked
My brother's
Dion?
the only one going for Tony. I honestly feel like the story. If Tony wins this, it's like, where do you go with Tony after this? There has to be more to the story. Because after
Hey,
this, like after he wins Dion, like what do you do with him? Like what storyline do you stick him into? Like yeah, but Dion's the main one. If it would have been any other NXT person, I would agree with you. But like I said, like the fact that it's the main leader to Dark State, I feel like they're gonna give it to Dion because if it would have been the other three, sorry, I don't know their names,
don't care.
but if it would have been any of the other three, I'll be like, okay, for sure, Tony D'Angelo's gonna win this. But the fact that it's the main guy, and it seems like they're wanting to push Dion into the main title picture, I can see him actually winning this and having some say like, "Hey, get me into this title picture," and kind of getting him away from Dark State. I could see that going, and it's the fact that this to me points don't matter, so I could pick whoever I want.
I'm
I
about
could
to
be
say,
like,
you're not even the league, so you're just a free spirit. Freaking
I'm
free
a free
birds and a
spirit, so I
scooter
can
over
say
here.
whatever I want. I could be, my brother could be like, Arlie was wrong. Hey, I know I was wrong. This is why I'm not in it because now I don't have to worry about points anymore. I could say
All right.
whatever I want. I could pick whoever I want. I could change my
Okay.
pick.
Okay. Pick whoever you want on this, and then we'll get back on schedule. Do you have Lola Vice, Kalani Jordan winning Underground? Lola Vice is undefeated. Oh,
What did
good.
I heard my brother. Who did you guys all pick?
We all picked Lola Vice unanimously.
I think it's gonna be Can.
What?
I feel like the fact that keep mentioning the fact that she's never lost an underground match seems telling. And the fact that she went to Shayna, I feel like there has to be more to that story. And the fact that I feel
Okay.
like if Lola loses, she can actually rest the arm. Whereas if she wins, she's not gonna get a chance to recover from that arm injury. So this is a perfect opportunity for her to go away for a while she recovers from that arm injury, whether it's real or not.
All right, fair enough. And that was Arlene Quick Picks, folks. Again, follow Arlene Dominguez is today for more on that. The Randy Orton to the John Cena. And that brings us up. Yes, JJ, I see your hand real quick before we resume.
One, what was it that I said about Dion Lennox?
The exact same shit.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Two, let's Noah brought it up when we were doing the prediction, but let's remember that Lola is half of the AAA Mixed Tag Champions. Rhea de Reyes is March 14th. It's a week from Saturday.
See.
So, regardless of what happens here, she's probably going to be defending the titles with Mr. Iguana.
I guarantee you she probably is. Just a matter against Scoop. And of course, Chelsea Green's still injured. Damn it. All right, man. I see your hand real quick before we get back
I
to
pledge
our
allegiance to the hot mess.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, Ernie's is a secret member of the Chelsea Green clan.
Well, we got Slayden A, Slayden Ash, Slayden Dat. All right, fair enough. She's got a hell of a freaking secret service, far more stronger than Mustafa Ali's. Continue, Manuel.
But it makes me wonder because I haven't seen Triple A on the YouTube. It makes me wonder. It makes me want to see back is Lilith actually selling her hand as well in the Triple Eight? If she's not, then that's some continuity that we're missing there.
Well, I mean, Suffering and Rollins proved last year everything's a work. 6 or 7 mean be damned. Everything's been a work in wrestling since who knows when. Chelsea Green. So let the hot match, damn it. Skip 3 years apart. Oh, that's shirt. Don't believe in that. All right. Anyway, all right. Let's get back on task here, guys. We got 2 matches left. I knew y'all were gonna somehow at least make this into an hour. No. The place is dead for a reason. The answer is no. But is the answer Miss Parker or Miss Blick Monroe? And we'll see if your girl actually goes after the speed title, which, ironically enough, bleeds into this. And I do see Arlene's hand. And guess what, Arlene? Because you just arrived, you're first. Let's go ahead and talk about a match where it comes to who's more real, who requires more attention, who doesn't give a damn, and who brings more hell. Because you got Jada Parker versus Blake Monroe in a street fight. And boy, has this thing really heated up. Good Lord Almighty. All right, guys, so here we go. As we know, Blake Monroe, the glamour, as Mariah May died in a Hollywood ending last year. She's kind of been one of those that has been the center of attention in her own opinion. Whether people love her or hate her, when she speaks, the internet goes crazy. When she's on your screen, people go gaga, if you know what I mean. She knows who she's about, and she knows that when she is on the air, she is the attention. But Jada Parker is like, nah, you are not even real. You are just nothing more but a phony ass bitch. Damn. Which, of course, brought out the hell in the glamour. How could something so glamorous be so sinister? Well, you get a street fight out of it. This really picked up, of course, last year in December for the NXT Women's North American Championship in a triple threat, where at the time, the glamour, Blake Monroe defeated Jada Parker and Jordan Grace. Of course, Jada Parker took some time off. She came back, different look. She also cost, talking about via hell, she cost, who, by the way, was the one that beat the glamour for the NXT Women's North American Championship for a cup of coffee, but it still was a championship. And nonetheless, we just saw on Speed how friggin' drive-by hip attack, damn, friggin' eliminated Blake Monroe from the Speed tournament, as Fia Hell beat her with about 2 minutes left and moves forward towards Fallon Henley's title, the speedometer sticker. Nonetheless, we saw what these two had to say, or I did, this past Tuesday on NXT. And after that slap to the face and that little pull-apart brawl, from red and white boots to pure black overalls, the woman from hell returns. So straight up, guys, does Jada Parker waste Blake Monroe, or does Blake Monroe make Jada Parker a statement in what she told? Let's go around the horn and see what y'all think towards this. And Arlene, you kick things off. It's a street fight with two of the biggest, egotistical, obnoxious, badass bitches of this NXT Women's roster. That's a mouthful and a half. What do you got to say regarding this? You got winning this street fight. Not a cat fight, but a street fight. But these two are going to go ham on each other.
Oh, I was just gonna bring up the fact that I forget who said it, but that what good came out of Chase U besides Mr. Chase, and I was like, damn, that's a burn to JJ. What about Thea Hale? But I forget who
She's
said it
still the
on
one string
NXT.
relevant. But nonetheless, no different
But he
conversation.
didn't say they didn't say that though. But I thought I was like, damn, they forgot Thea Hale was part of Chase U. But anyways,
Well, maybe
that's
that's for the
beside the point.
best. Continue.
But besides that, I think this is one of the matches that like I would go back and forth. This would probably be one of the ones that I would change probably when the day of. But
Fair.
looking at the card, I feel like who needs it more? And honestly, I think the person that needs to win more is Blake Monroe over Jada Parker. So I'm gonna go with Blake Monroe to win this match. I think she needs it more. Jada Parker could take the loss. I feel like
All right.
Blake, especially with her whole thing with Dia Hale and everything like that, I feel like she needs it more. Because if she loses, I mean, I feel like where you go from here with her. Whereas Jada Parker, she could just like if she lost, she could still attack her and then she can win that one. But I feel like if Jada were to win, I feel like where do you go with Blake after this? I mean, she could still attack her, but I mean, besides a street fight, like what would be next? Oh, I don't know.
You take it.
It's a hard pick, but for right now, I'm just gonna go with Blake Monroe to win.
Well, considering this one in itself has more heat behind it versus most of this card, there's a reason why I picked it as semi-main. Plus the glamour. I'm really trying to see how she does become the attention, the conversation, and a win over Jada Parker, who by the add has yet to win any gold in NXT. That definitely could be a statement, but we are taking it to the streets, and for Pete fucking sake, Jada Parker's Titantron's a GTA graphic. So it almost feels like it fits her. Last time Jada Parker had a championship opportunity, by the way, folks, was literally for the NXT Women's Speed title against Saruka at No Mercy. So put that in perspective for you. But, it's also one of those things with Jada Parker. She's also had a longer tenure. But also, the last time Blake Monroe was involved in the program, Jordan Grace beat her in a weaponized steel cage match. So also keep that in perspective. That being said, we got one for the glamour. Blake Monroe. All right, from one Dominguez to another. Now, you know what? Fuck it. We got 4 people. Let's crisscross it this time. Hi, JJ. JJ, what you got to say about Miss Parker versus the glamour? It's a street fight here, and these two have already made it as personal as it gets. But truly, does the woman from hell actually have more to its name than a demon that was embarrassed on the grandest stage if she doesn't beat Miss Parker in a street fight? And if Blake Monroe just another Trish Stratus wannabe waiting to happen if she loses? What do you think?
Well, I had to go Hollywood here and take it back in time for this Blake Monroe match. It's not all the time that I get to run the gimmick, so
I can respect that.
I'm really torn on this one. I'm more torn on this one than I'm torn on any match on the card.
If I'm being honest with you, so am I.
Because I feel like Blake really needs a dub here. With having lost the title to Thea and then everything coming out of that, I feel like she needs something to get her stocks back moving in the upwards direction. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Again, I don't do it anymore because Jake Doyle, get well soon. Continue.
But on the same token, it's Jada. And how do I deny Miss Parker? Miss Parker? Miss Parker? I mean, she's so over that the no contest wrestling guys end every episode with, "Hi, Miss Parker."
Oh, brother.
And if you know, kids. Take it back to 1995 on a Friday. But I'm really torn here. I'm gonna say Jada Parker for now.
Okay.
But I reserve the right to change my pick, and I know forms aren't set until 6 o'clock Eastern, 3 Pacific, whatever on Saturday. So I got time.
Yes, you do.
I don't even think I've submitted my picks yet. So
That's because I haven't made. That's because I personally didn't make the form yet until this forum was completed, and it will be available literally come the morning. All right. That being said, we got 1 and 1. We got Jada Parker and the glamour, Blake Monroe. Well, that being said, hi, Emmanuel. The last time these two went 1-on-1, let's not forget we went with a double count out and a hit tonic for the fucking barricade where these two almost destroyed the NXT stage. So that's how personal this really has gotten. That being said, Emmanuel, where do you stand? Do you stand with your sister? Or do you stand with your Emmanuel card playing brother? Freaking Kaiba boy. To Yuki at this point, or Joey Wheeler. You decide, folks. Go ahead, Emmanuel. What's your pick towards this? You break the tie for the time being.
I know, right? Yeah, I mean, they both kind of need to win right now. Like in this the NXT careers, if Jada Parker loses, it's where does she go from here? She has the crowd behind her. Is she still gonna get the same reaction? Is she the Daniel Bryan of the NXT right now? That it doesn't matter if she wins or loses. They're gonna cheer for her no matter what type of situation.
That's fair.
So right now, I have to agree with my sister. I think Mariah May actually needs to bickering more because, no offense, I know you guys hate the interwebs, but ever since she lost against Tony Storm, a lot of people have been giving her crap that she's dead. Tony Storm is right that she doesn't have the edge. She doesn't cut it anymore, and she's a has been. So this is their opportunity to show the world that she still has it. She's still capable of providing a killer match, and I think it's this type of match that this other side of Mariah May appears, because we haven't seen that in truly her that side out of her. So hopefully they do provide that, and she does get the win, because losing the match against Thea Hell in a speed match is kind of like hurt her than help her. Like it helped Thea Hell a lot, but it kind of hurt Mariah May a lot as well. So she really needs to win at this
I
point.
love the fact we still call her Mariah May when Mariah May was clearly killed, and I do mean killed in a Hollywood ending. But please continue.
No, that said, no. I'm about to say like that's my opinion. Like hopefully she does get that victory, because she really desperately needs it. Because right now, like their internet fans are not having the it's not feeling her character. She's not really like like resonating with the fans. So maybe this will help boost up her career up.
All right. So that being said, you got the glamour, Blake Monroe. Okay, so that's two glamours and one Jada Parker. Well, Jada Parker was previously involved in a street fight, as we know, against Misha, and took everything out of a toolbox to kick her ass on NXT television. That was back in 2024. Also, one of the longest tenured NXT women on this roster. She's been here since 2022, and she's literally done nothing in wrestling but NXT, coming off volleyball when her volleyball career was through. Why the glamour? Blake Monroe has been dreaming of this since she was a little girl, 12 years old. And of course, she became part of NXT last year. And we saw what the Woman from Hell could do against the Juggernaut until she met her in a weaponized steel cage match. To your point, though, Emmanuel, the Woman from Hell side of Blake Monroe, the evil from the beauty within, has not done jack shit except become part of a conversation. It takes more than just being a conversation to actually be something in WWE, especially on a persistent basis. And I said it once, I'll say it again, as an exception to this self-proclaimed community. You don't look at the company. You look at the wrestler. At the end of the day, I watched the glamour, Mariah May, evolve or devolve or revolve or revamp. Now into Blake Monroe. From Mariah May, from Stardom, AEW, the UK to here. And why WWE is still mid to me. This is still a better card than both the main roster PLEs. So, with that being said, I do look at the future, and I don't think that the glamour, Blake Monroe, is going to leave this one high and dry, especially going from confronting Jada Parker as the glamour to calling out Jada Parker as a Woman from Hell. There are two sides to Blake Monroe, and it's going to be that evil side that prevails, in my opinion, in the street fight. Because I agree, I think Blake Monroe needs a major win. Ms. Parker has that tenure, but she also has that main roster level exposure, thanks to the Royal Rumble. And I do think right now she's a favorite babyface that people want to see succeed, much like Lola Vice, who, again, she has not yet been a champion in NXT. Sorry, Walter. Jada Parker, Lola Vice have been at odds end, but they also have to respect each other. So I can also see this evolving into some sort of tag team feud dynamic with possibly Kalani Jordan and Blake Monroe. You were talking about, again, who did Kalani Jordan have? This show could tell foresight of the future. Because I don't think right now your NXT can be built on the women's side without these four women doing something on this roster. So that being said, I got the glamour, Blake Monroe, kicking Jada Parker's ass. It wouldn't surprise me if she blocked her hip tonic with some metal object, break her rear side, and waste her. I want Blake Monroe to succeed, so I'm going with the glamour here as well. So I'm with you two, and JJ stands alone for now. I got Blake Monroe. All right, let's see what Ash has to say here. I hope Monroe wins because I'm tired of seeing the same old Tony Storm promo whenever she loses, LOL. There's an easy way of avoiding that. Protect your mentality. Stay off the X. As simple as that. And again, support the wrestlers, not the brand. It doesn't get simpler than that. Yes, JJ, I see your hand. What do you got to say before we go to our main event?
So this is just a question for those that have been following more than I have.
Go for it.
This transition from the glamour to the
The
girl from hell, is this similar from the transition that we saw in Tony from the Outcast to Timeless?
You know, it's weird you say that because when she went from Outcast to Timeless, she was delusional after losing, of course, the AEW Women's Championship. And of course, TBS champion at the time, Saraya Hill, excuse me. Yeah, Saraya Hill was the one, of course, that won it. I would not say so because Blake Monroe came in here with all this ego and figured out her beauty would be more than enough to be the face of NXT. And then Jordan Grace rearranged her face, and we went from a beauty scene in a bathtub to redlining Carrie style. And of course, that descended into that feud with Jordan Grace. For me, it comes down to either breaking Blake Monroe or embarrassing her. Why Timeless Tony Storm came from delusion of aspects of grandeur. So no, I would not say it's similar. I say it's a different dynamic, but I think it's a transition that Blake Monroe needs to succeed in NXT on what she can be. Because it's going to take more than being a Trish Stratus in 2026 to be a success in this era of WWE. And I think Blake Monroe's learning that the hard way, finding herself in both sides where she could be that character that WWE utilizes. So I think it's slightly different. And regardless, I think this side of Blake Monroe needs to win. Because the more dangerous side of the glamour, I think it succeeds in NXT versus the beauty that is the glamour. So that's why I think Blake Monroe needs to win here. It was a traditional match, probably a different circumstance. But again, the last time in that traditional match, double count out, and someone nearly got rear-ended through a barricade. And I think Jada Parker's hot street temper is going to be her downfall. So I got to go with Blake. All right. Well, that being said, I love the fact, though, that we have a lot of investment in this match for both women here, and we also are intrigued to see the glamour succeed. But I also want to see the evil within prevail, if you know what I mean. That being said, a lot of great talk, thought, discussion, outlook, some unique happenstance, circumstance. I'm sure Robert Stone will have some sort of announcement towards the NXT Women's Championship, and based on the fact that three women's matches are defying this Vengeance Day card, let's also put that in perspective. All these matches could also have an effect on whatever Robert Stone chooses to do with the NXT Women's Championship. But that being said, let's go ahead and get right into what most likely is going to be our main event. Because do you believe or do we absolutely reset NXT? Because it is 250 pounds of pure motivation, the answer to all lies questions, the face of NXT via a ladder match, butchering the song via Booker T, and of course, his name is Joe Hendry. As we
his name and he appears, I believe in Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry, who did that? Damn it! Every time, fucking give it! Every fucking time, tell me it's over killing it! Sorry. Anyway, I just gave myself a damn headache. Yes, Joe Hendry, the NXT champion, defends the gold against absolute I almost said the wrong name. Ricky Saints. Now, literally, this picked up, of course, from the ladder match that crowned a brand new NXT champion when Obafemi, the ruler, vacated the title. And of course, all the men qualified for the ladder match. We got 7 men because somebody that Booker T couldn't even control was part of that scene. I don't even know who the fuck that guy is. Sounds like somebody that needs to be behind bars. Anyway, that being said, Ricky Saints, Joe Hendry, been at each other's throats. From a parking lot brawl to Joe Hendry calling him out to Ricky Saints saying you're nothing but a social media meme. You're nothing but an influencer. You're nothing but a person that markets to the point you got your own DLC for WWE 2026. Congratulations. But with Ricky Saints, I am the conversation. I am this brand. I am the hardest working man in NXT, and I made that title relevant. You bring shame to it. You are nothing more but a joke. Once again, denying Joe Hendry's work to get to this point. Go figure. That being said, it's the first time I won a matchup. We've already seen Joe Hendry take on the Vanity Project and whoever the fuck the Evolve champion is, I think.
Jackson Drake, he's part of the Vanity Project.
Okay, whatever, but thank you for the education. That being said, we also, of course, did see Ricky Saints and the Vanity Project try to get the better of Joe Hendry. But the new SC North American champion, for those that haven't watched NXT, yes, Miles Bourne finally did it. Miles Bourne and Joe Hendry have mutual respect for each other and been at each other's backs. It's also one of those things right now that Ricky Saints, I mean, again, is this guy on his way up to the main roster at this point, or do we let this go out a little further, considering this all comes from the fact that Ricky Saints, yes, he was the guy on the ladder, but Joe Hendry prevented him from seizing the championship, which is what really escalated this to where we are now. So here we are, Vengeance Day, NXT Championship. Let's not forget, the last time NXT Championship was defended on PLD was Deadline, and it was transitioned to Obafemi. Do we get the same thing here with the help of the Vanity Product? Does Ricky Saints have his own entourage helping him out? Or do you believe that Joe Hendry will still be the face of NXT? Let's go around the horn and get y'all's thoughts. And we will start with the man that is representing the brand. I'm not talking about Pat McAfee, but it is the cornerstone of his brand. And he might literally decide right now who stands and deliver as the NXT champion. Hi, JJ. Joe Hendry is now the face of NXT. But Ricky Saints, your boy, absolute. Does he deserve a second chance right now at the NXT championship? What do you think about this? Yeah, I know, it's weird.
Okay, so I'm very Harvey Dent on this one.
Can he be cheated? Oh, flip a coin, why don't you like Two-Face then?
I would if I had a silver dollar nearby. Do
Fair
they even
enough.
make those anymore?
I know they don't make pennies anymore. I think they still do, but someone can go check the government for that. I don't know. Ask AI. Continue.
So there's part of me that feels like the Vanity Project is going to have Ricky's back and potentially get the belt for him here. Which could be a good thing because we're on the way to the road to WrestleMania.
Yes.
Joe Hendry has already competed at WrestleMania.
Yes.
He should be on this one too. He's not going to get on WrestleMania by being on NXT. So by losing the title to Ricky, whether it's here or even Roadblock, still gives him a couple weeks to get inserted into something for WrestleMania. And especially now that there's somebody who recently debuted who's very nice, very evil.
Oh, yeah, the Garth Dienhausen, but they're not going to do something to true for the advertising. I mean, he's already cursed Don Mysterio to the point that Dom lost the Intercontinental Championship.
I'm just saying, dude, the three of them,
Oh, gosh.
and you can even throw Mr. Iguana in there too.
Will you
would
stop?
Just
A puppet
be
is not-
comedy gold. I didn't say shit about Lieska.
Okay, fair enough.
You brought up the puppet.
Well, I know
All
you're
I
going to
said
bring up...
was Mr. Iguana.
Well, Mr. Iguana always travels with the damn puppet.
Okay,
And a puppet
that's
is not a
on him.
participant.
All I said was Mr. Iguana. You brought the puppet up.
Because I know the puppy with him. They're both annoying.
Mr. Iguana is gold. Our truth is comedy gold.
Fucking hell.
Danhausen is comedy gold. Joe Hendry is comedy gold. These four running roughshod as a unit would just be must-see television.
Oh, go watch Whose Line Is It Anyway.
Nah, that was lame. Not a Drew Carey guy. The other hand, this is a business. We're heading into NXT's WrestleMania. Stand and deliver.
Correct.
Who's going to sell more tickets? Joe Hendry or Ricky Saints? Now, if Stand and Deliver were going to be in New Orleans where WrestleMania was supposed to be, give it to Ricky. He kind of got dicked out of this year anyway.
No shit.
But it's in St. Louis. It's neutral ground for both of them. So I'll say let Joe Hendry walk in the stand and deliver. Still your NXT champion. I believe in Joe Hendry, just like I believe in Chase University.
Well, at least one's far more believable than the other. And again, one day you'll wake up from that. All right, fair enough. That being said, he's got Joe Hendry retaining. And I'm sure Attila would also agree. Shout out again to our Mighty Morphin Peak Power Ranger. Again, folks, you haven't already, please follow Rangers of Wrestling. Follow Attila. And again, stay tuned. One point, we will do our simple session. I assure you. Appreciate you, pal. Take care. All right, that being
In the
said.
meantime, you do have somebody else you could do a simple session with while you wait for her time to clear up for you. Just throwing that out there. I seem to have some availability here.
You know what? I'll keep that in mind. Schedules are flex to change, and I like doing those things once in a while. And you and I, last time we did a one-on-one show, we hosted Shenanigans together, and that went for 2 hours. So who knows? Maybe that's when you and I will stand and deliver on a simple session about absolutely everything that we won't agree on, just for everyone's entertainment. It'll be truly a simple renegade debate. Stay tuned. And is there any room on the main roster for Hendry and Saints? If there isn't, how can they make room? You put other people in catering. This is the WWE. They got
There's always room on the roster. The question is, to Noah's point, who do you sacrifice?
Exactly.
You put Ricky Saints with the quote unquote vision, if that's still going to be a thing, because Ricky, Logan, and Theory would all fit in with each other.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And then Hendry, like I said, you can put him with Truth. You can put him with Danhausen. Hendryhausen has a decent little ring to it.
Oh, God.
Truth and Hendry. 2 former NWA TNA champions, by the way. So just throwing that in there, there's the TNA connection that they've both been champion for.
Accurate.
One from a bygone era and one from a more modern era.
I'm about to say, yeah, let's get the eras right. All right, fair enough. And there you go, Ash. And again, always appreciate you. Stay batty again, folks. Follow back for the rest of the day. We'll see you on the shenanigans, pal. And yeah. All right. Well, that being said, he leaves in Joe Hendry. Retaining. Crisscross. Vin. Arlene. Hello. What do you have to say regarding everything JJ says and Joe Hendry's second title defense? And might I add, this is a pure one-on-one match on Vengeance and make it a point. No stipulation, just 2 men trying to prove that they deserve to be NXT champion. One we believe in, the other one believes absolutely in himself. But again, deadline, he walked in as champion, he lost. What do you got to say, Arlene? Do you got a new NXT champion or do you believe Joe Hendry retains?
One question before I actually pick. How many times has Ricky Saints been champion? Just 1 or 2?
Once.
1. Okay. Okay. So I'll stick with my pick. I think Ricky Saints is gonna win and become the champion once again.
Damn, just keep hopping there in the NXT championship one, don't you? All right,
Well,
continue.
okay. In my defense, the reason why I think that they're gonna do this is just because if Joe Henry goes from the wins this title, where do you go with Ricky Saints with this? If he doesn't win the championship.
It's their first one-on-one. How many times have we seen multiple acts of the same feud?
Exactly. But if Ricky Saints wins this one, you can also do the same thing where Joe Henry challenges them again. Either way, one of them is going to lose, and the other one, and whether Joe Henry wins in this case, like with JJ, Ricky Saints is just going to challenge for it again. We're back to where we were at. So that's why I say it would be better if Ricky Saints, and then you have Joe Hendry chasing for it again, and then have him win at NXT Stand and Deliver again. That's when you see Ricky Saints help a certain Cody Rhodes win the championship and screw over by Randy Orton because they're gonna screw over Randy Orton.
All right, calm down. We haven't gotten to WrestleMania predictions. Again, folks, stay tuned.
Tranquilo,
Date and time to be
tranquilo.
Sorry.
determined.
Cody's not
Sorry.
even champion.
We got to get through Friday night, by the way. Let's not forget this Friday, Cody Rhodes
Tranquilo.
challenges Drew for the WWE Championship.
You know,
And I still
I'm
call
just
them-
mad that it can't just be Drew versus Randy like it should be. Why does it have to be a fatal four-way? I do not know.
Hey,
They're
look,
screwing my
nothing's
man over,
official.
and damn it, I'm
we
not going to stay
haven't-
quiet.
We haven't gotten there yet.
We know it's
Let's-
gonna be.
let's
We know
not-
it's gonna be that.
Let's
We
not
know.
buy
They're just thinking we're
in-
stupid.
Let's
You're
not
just
buy
super
into the
stupid.
dirt sheets. Let's not buy into these
God,
internet journalists.
thank you.
Let's just let everything play out in real time. Let's not get upset about it until it happens, Arlene.
Yeah, exactly. Look,
Breathe.
actuality is reality. Reading is nothing but reading. Nothing is official till it's official in WWE. Stop reading and following and buying into fucking dirt sheets. And that goes for everybody here. Off the screen and on the internet. Find someone else to do with your damn phone, your damn life. Bloody fucking hell.
And if you're going to get the dirt, go to nodq.com to do it, where you don't have to do a paywall to get the information.
Well,
Say yeah to NoDQ.
at least it's reported as. But yes, you are correct. Shout out to Aaron Riff. But also, bottom line, folks, just fucking wait and see. Jesus. Thank Christ I'm not on social media and I have no notifications for that shit. All right, that being said, thank you for that tangent, Arlene. But that being said, she split the ballot with Ricky Sainz becoming a two-time NXT champion. Gah.
And the next time you want to get a rant out of Arlene, y'all got a super chat for it. That was 2 gold. She's usually the calm one.
Yeah, about to say, I'm the one with the blood pressure here on this panel sometimes, and Arlene freaking outdid me. And Arlene, and one of these panels is just
Because it
gonna be
was her
called
man,
Rant
Randy
Mania.
Orton.
Yeah, well, of course. Well, Randy Orton's going to have a 4-way, 5-way, 6-way. He's not going to have a one-on-one here. It
Randy
sounds like.
Orton and Oscar are my.
You know, it's funny. We mentioned about Oscar earlier, how she was.
Yeah, you were gone. You weren't here when we brought up Asuka, so thank goodness.
So we're not going to go down that road. That being said, let's get back on topic here, all right? Freaking Cinema Diddy becomes its own podcast of madness, I swear. At least Charles is in here. Okay, well done, Arlene. That being said, Ricky Saints, Joe Hendry. JJ, what do you believe in besides Randy Orton not getting a one-on-one match at WrestleMania at this point? Do you believe in Joe Hendry? Do you believe Ricky Saints becomes a two-time NXT champion?
Well, I already gave my prediction. That's a manual that you're talking to, not JJ.
Okay, yeah. Well, names, people,
Botch!
y'all fuckers throw me off. But you know what? It wouldn't be a wrestling form without bots, right? God bless it. I love and hate you all at the same time.
It's just great when we can actually catch you on a botch instead of you railing us for it.
I'm no exception. I know I'm no exception. So it's a very rare thing. But even I have my flaws. And Lord knows WWE has more flaws than the biggest IKEA furniture you can buy. That being said, as I go Roderick Strong now, as the man in the suit's talking, everyone shut the fuck up. Emmanuel! Who do you have leaving as NXT champion at Vengeance Day? Joe Hendry or Ricky Saints?
I just want to know where that echo came from. That was good.
Yeah. Noah, remember the last time we did not believe in Joe Hendry? What happened in that TNA pay-per-view?
He freaking won.
He freaking won. So from now on, let's believe in Joe Hendry. He's gonna regain this championship. I'm not gonna fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, then shame on Joe Hendry. Why would they screw me over? So I'm gonna go for Joe Hendry. I believe. God dang it.
It's just like me believing in Thea Hale and Chase University. You gotta believe.
Well, Parappa the Rapper once said, I gotta believe, before Chase University was a fetus on a freaking piece of paper. That being said, Thea Hale is more believable than Chase University ever will be. Again, unaccredited and dead. But we're not going down that road again unless you want me to rant. And I got more than enough shit to rant about in WWE. I can fucking guarantee you that.
Super chat, people. Super chat.
Don't get me started. I'm at 120/86 right now. My blood pressure last I checked, so I'm trying to keep it stable. That being said, it's probably already gone up more points than I freaking know, but I'm gonna go back to this anyway, so I'll be tranquilo. Okay, that being said, Joe Hendry, Ricky Saints, you're on one out. Do you believe? Joe Hendry, come on now. He just got the damn championship in a ladder match last month. For the love of God, can you make a world championship matter in WWE of all ecosystems that isn't hot potato within its fucking self? Are you fucking kidding me? It's the first one-on-one match, by the way, and it's not even gimmick. This hasn't been escalated to the levels of Tatum Paxley and Izzy Dame, or fracking Lola Vice and Kalani Jordan, or fracking what's going to happen probably with Blake Monroe and Jada Parker. Honestly, right now, looking at the world championship picture of your NXT, unless even Page finds his draws and decides to go after Joe Hendry for this title, you got nobody fucking else right now in this equation. So it makes sense for Ricky Saints to be continually on the chase when Joe Hendry chased this for 15 plus damn years. So that being said, no fucking way will I not stop believing in Joe Hendry, even in this WWE ecosystem that I don't watch live. But I'm going to call this shit Saturday, and if you don't want me to walk off or walk out of TNA, you best fucking not screw Joe Hendry and give him a chance. Joe Hendry leaves that NXT champion, or you may never see me stand deliver again for this brand. Joe Hendry retains. It's just, no, Ricky Saints doesn't need it. He's a loud mouth, all right? Let the loud mouth believe his own hype. Joe Hendry, he's the guy to lead. He's the guy we believe. And if it wasn't for Trick Williams still in the TNA World Championship, maybe TNA would be in a better place of a better freaking roster and landscape. That being said, that's a bygone era. Joe Hendry retains. And then we see what happens on the way to Roadblock and Stand Deliver in St. Louis, I guess. I think that's where it's at. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, Stanley delivers in St. Louis. I'm not sure about Roadblock.
Yeah, I don't know about Roadblock. And honestly, there's enough Roadblocks in St. Louis that you don't need a show name after it.
This is accurate.
Joe Hendry retains. All right. Well, that being said, Emmanuel, I do see your hand. What you guys say?
Arlene had hers up first.
Oh, thank you for that. Because again, I was on a tirade. Arlene, go ahead. Then Emmanuel.
Oh, I was just gonna bring up the point that the other reason why I think Ricky Saints might win it is because I forget the name of the show, but he's on a show. So if they're wanting to promote this show, they'll probably put the title back on him so he could bring more people in to watch NXT. That's all I had to say.
I think Joe Hendry has more star power and recognition than Ricky Saints, with all due respect. He was on WrestleMania last year. Enough said. Simple as that.
And according to Safed, Roadblock is at the Garden.
Oh,
or in New York. So
in the theater again, the MSG theater.
Probably, yeah.
Because I remember freaking last year, I think it was in the theater as well. Shortly after the MSG show, which I guess technically would be the second biggest stage for your NXT each year. I'm just going to confirm that because, again, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm looking it up. Yeah, okay, it's in New York, the theater at MSG, so.
Yep, Infamous Theater, Madison Square Garden, March 31st, 2026. You are correct. Thank you for that. But again, always have your sources be official. Just saying. All right, well, thank you for that, Arlene. Amanda, what you got to say real quick?
Yeah, just as a note, Noah, just in case I know you don't see NXT, but there's a rock concert per se for like
what?
Ricky Saints, like a rock version. Ricky Saints, he was singing like a rock segment, like when he's singing in the guitar. Like,
oh Lord!
And he got beat up, so that's the only that's why it could be Ricky Saints winning the title, because you know how he likes the heels gets hit and gets destroyed. The heels win typically,
but this is accurate. The baby faces were standing tall, but what Emmanuel didn't mention is the fact that the Vanity Project came out and it was a 4-on-1 for a minute. Until Miles Bourne came out for the save, and 2-on-4, they were able to take them out.
So I'm expecting the same thing here based on what you just told me, that we're going to get the Vanity Project Miles Bourne involved here, and Joe Henry's still going to leave the championship. But apparently a war is going to brew where Ricky Saints might become the new entourage leader of this vanity project, apparently. Well, they all seem pretty much obnoxious with their own fashion and cologne and style, and I can see them all doing that. So actually, that would make sense probably. All right, fair enough. Then again, Vanity Project, they're models for hire. Ask Ethan Page. Okay, fair enough. But yeah, I still think Joe Hendry retains. Again, Joe Hendry, Miles Bourne, that's a nice reset for NXT, honestly, for the North American Championship and the NXT Championship that I think could have a good duration and possibly lead to some new character development. They surely need it. Okay, fair enough. I wonder if even Page actually has a freaking horse in this race, or does he care who leads with the title because he can't stand both men? Although he literally bludgeoned Ricky Saints over the North American Championship. Hell, he took the title from him. As far as Joe Hendry and Ethan Page, oh, good Lord Almighty. So, wouldn't mind seeing that program. If anyone should stand deliver, I think even Page should stand deliver. He's been the hardest worker in NXT, in my opinion. With respect.
No,
What do you guys think,
ironic.
Manuel?
Yeah, ironically, Ethan Page and Ricky Saints see eye to eye. They both are agreeing with each other. Ironically, so he has Ricky Saints' back. Unfortunately, in this situation.
You know what I think is going to happen at Roadblock now, JD, with him saying that? Triple
What?
threat. Triple threat.
Probably.
Ethan Page, Ricky Saints, Joe Hendry. I could see it. Okay, well, that being said, regardless, we believe Joe Hendry gets vengeance on Ricky Saints. And that's all you have to say about that. Well, again, folks, that's Vengeance Day. So what are your predictions? What's your outlook on NXT's future? Will they have what they need to stand and deliver? What is Robert Stone's announcement concerning the NXT Women's Championship? Who truly gets vengeance and who is on the blunt end of someone else's vengeance? Let us know your predictions and your final thoughts in the chat and also in the comments down below as we conclude. And again, I thank all of you. Again, stay tuned. The form will be again available later today on my X, on the comments section here on each of these streams, on my community tab on the YouTube channel. And again, you will have till 6 p.m. Standard Time, Saturday, March 7th, to get them finalized. And it will be me and Walter on the call before further shenanigans ensue in our interview. So I thank all of you as we now go ahead and promote and tell you what's ahead. And we also bid you a fine adieu. First and foremost, to the Dominguez says, good luck, Emmanuel, this year. Maybe if Arlene has a coach, you could actually win the league or try and surpass JJ. Good luck in the kickoff. And Arlene, thank you as always for your cooperation and your participation. I look forward to seeing what your observation score is going to be, just for the fun of it. And of course, you are working hard right now, so I'm not going to let you linger. So go ahead and some of the people can find and connect with you and why you love Randy Orton.
Oh, my love for Randy Orton goes all the way back.
Okay, maybe not talk about the love because we might be here all night. Just go ahead and plug your stuff.
When once she was a wee lass.
All right, we're not going that far back.
I remember when me and my brother went to go see the WWE in San Diego. I think they were in Pachanga. I can't remember what, or Viejas, one of those two. And he was still with the Wyatt family. That was a long time ago. And we were the only ones cheering for him. And I will never forget this. Every time I think about my encounter with Randy, I haven't actually met him, but I always remember that we were the only ones cheering for him. And he looked at the crowd and he pointed at us. Like a week later, he ends up turning on the Wyatt family. So I feel like because we were the only ones cheering for him, we were the ones that caused him to turn on them. So I take credit for that. Anyways.
What a unique
That's probably,
story.
Two together probably doesn't really exist, but I would like to think that we were the reason. But anyways, you can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter, ADM73244. Like I said, breaking news in case you did not see the WWE Elimination Chamber predictions. I will not be participating just for my mental health because of my crash out and the way points and the way the points would have been if I didn't care about points. Where I would have
you
been.
didn't care at all about points, and then you freaking had a meltdown.
That's what I'm saying. I cared about so much about points, I had a mental breakdown. So that is
my
why
Lord.
I'm not participating this year. So,
Fair
but
enough.
I will be putting on Twitter the day of what's his I forget the name of this pay-per-view.
Vengeance Day.
Vengeance Day.
Vengeance Day. The day of
Brain is
Vengeance
leaving.
Day. I will be putting on Twitter my official final picks for all these matches in case I switch one or stay the same. And if you guys let me know if my picks helped you win this league, and I can probably take partial credit.
Well,
Or
just
whether
make
you're
sure.
already picking those to begin with. Who knows?
Just
But
make sure the tag at SR Studios 2024 so we know that it's you and also cross promote. That's all I gotta say about that.
I will do that. And besides that, yeah, I will only be doing WWE because I know no matter how bad I do, everybody's gonna a little bit more people are gonna do better than me. So I don't crash out as much as NXT.
You don't have a big as a
So
field this year. You don't have a big as a field this year so far. There's been a lot of fallout clearly from the fan base. There's only like 40 people in it outside Team No DQ, so 60 versus the usual 100. But then again, we are heading to WrestleMania, so even if it's a one-off, I mean, again, you probably still will be able to scorch most of the competition. So good luck and thank you.
thank you.
All right. Emmanuel, let's go ahead and get you plugged, Mr. Cena. We may never see him again in the ring, but I know we'll always see you on this screen, and I know I'll definitely see you, whether it's one and or two nights of Super Predicting WrestleMania. But go ahead and tell the people can find you and what you've been up to.
Yes, you can follow me at Emmanuel Dominguez at Facebook, EDM7224 at Instagram. You could also follow my YouTube channel. We're almost at double digits, people. We're going to get to 10 people eventually. We're almost there, baby.
Folks.
We're almost there, baby. Anyways, like I've been stuck in this puzzle. That's why I haven't been uploading lately. I've been wondering how to solve this mystery so we can finish this episode of Murder in the Alps. I've been stuck in this episode. That's why you haven't seen me. So I've been looking it up. Like, what's the answer? What's the answer? And no answer yet. So I have to do the old-fashioned way. Click, nope. Click, nope. Click, nope. Until I get it right.
So.
Yes. But nevertheless, tomorrow, if you're interested, we're gonna do game night. Game night. We're gonna do the Game of Life 2. We're gonna do Clue back to back. Like, if you're interested, we're gonna start at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So if you're in the East Coast, 6 p.m. You're gonna see a code. You can download it in your Samsung phone or iPhone. It's for free. It's true. It's for free. It's a free game. You can download the game for free. There's not much other than that. But there's a story I already neglected to tell you.
Oh no!
At WrestleMania 21, she did not cheer for her man Randy Orton. She knew that Undertaker was going to win.
Well, it was the streak. Fair enough. All right. Well, thank you, Emmanuel. Again, God bless Dominguez's folks. Like I said, they are the MVPs, the VIPs. They are the then, now, and forever of the Super Lava Studios community. Again, please follow both of them. Show them some love. Show them support. Please follow, support, and subscribe. Interactive Games and Movies a day. Let's get them 20 by WrestleMania. Let's freaking go. Come on now. That's the new goal. 20 subscribers by WrestleMania. If y'all are watching right now, you literally might be watching it on his feed, on his YouTube as we speak. Again, Interactive Games and Movies. Subscribe today. And again, subscribe and follow. But also subscribe. Thank you both. All right. Well, JJ, again, the work never ends when it comes to you and I. And God bless you with all the work you've put in out of every day and night. So let's go ahead and remind the people what we're about here at the Super Lava Studios, the content that's ahead, and what you're about to on your own YouTube channel. And where can people come on and find you?
Before you throw up the graphic, I've been cheering for Randy Orton since he debuted in the WWE.
Well, there you go.
I was cheering for Randy Orton at WrestleMania 21. Damn it. I wanted him to end the streak. I'm not one of these Johnny-come-latelys who started cheering him back with the Wyatt family, okay? And Arlene, thank you for not being in the league this year for NXT. That's one rank higher I will be by you sitting out.
Damn. Yes, Arlene, I see your hand. Hold on, you triggered her.
Go ahead, Arlene. before I
Hey, I
continue with
was
my shows.
even before that. I was a fan of it, but it's hard to go against the streak. You didn't want the streak to end. If I had known the streak was going to end with Brock Lesnar, I would have been cheering for my man to beat the streak. But the fact
It
that we didn't want the
should, Shawn
streak to
Michaels.
end,
I still think, and I know I'm on a lonely island unto myself with this.
You're used to it.
I think Randy should have done it at
mm-mm,
21. He
yeah,
was in the heart of the Legend
hmm
Killer gimmick. What better exclamation point to put on the Legend Killer tour than to kill the Undertaker's streak?
Then what do you do at 25, 26, 27,
Who
28?
cares? Undertaker kept wrestling at Mania after the streak ended. He lost
That's
again to Roman a couple years later.
true. We don't talk about that
So,
WrestleMania
so
match.
well, I'm bringing up a point though. He kept going. It didn't matter.
Fair
His
enough.
career didn't end with the Lesnar loss.
Fair enough. All right, fair enough. Well, thank you for that sub tangent. Now let's get back to Reggie's schedule programming to talk about upcoming content and programming, and also where people can find you. Go ahead.
You can find me on the X at ROWJJ Williams and Casa D18 Studio. No S at the end
Oh.
for the X account. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel at Casa D18 Studios with an S at the end. Of course, you can find me on Instagram at the Renegade JJ Williams. You can also, if you're not already, follow the Simply Reliable Studios at SR Studios 2024. That is where we make all of our big announcements. That is where we do stream watch alongs. Simply Predicting is going across there right now as we speak,
I didn't even know
Try-
that.
trying to get it out to the masses. I want to expose you to more people, good sir. You deserve it.
Nah.
Make sure you go back in the archives. Check out the interview we did with Rachel Leigh. Check out the interview we did with Brittany Blake, the Poder Mania champion. Make sure you check out the interview we did with the lovely Heather Lynn, the Poder
Wonderful
Mania ring announcer. Make sure you tune in this Saturday as we interview the conduit of karma, Kaya McKenna,
Dressing that
wearing
part,
our
that's
favorite hockey jerseys.
awesome.
Make sure you tune in on March 21st as we interview Jocelyn Navarro. Make sure you tune in on March 28th as we interview La Leona, Alejandra Quintanilla. Make sure you tune in April 4th as we interview everybody's BFF, Izzy Moreno.
Izzy!
All on the road to April 11th when we will be bringing Ed Laredo back to the shenanigans for the go home to Mania Week and Poder Mania. And make sure that you tune in this Saturday as we have not one, but two more interview announcements to break this week. One of them will be for the March 14th week. As you notice, that is currently missing.
Huh.
And one of them will be a special midweek shenanigans interview.
Wow.
So make sure you tune in for. Hey, we gotta play into their schedules.
That's right. That's right.
Weekend warriors are a thing for a reason, and this talent that we're bringing in has multiple belts.
That's fair.
So definitely have to work within her schedule as she is a hot commodity. You could almost say that she is a top tier talent.
Respect.
And I'm going to leave it there.
Stay tuned, folks. All right. Well, thank you for that, JJ. And again, folks, for all your music, movies, and other wrestling outlooks, incredible storytelling by far better and easier with one person than the WWE creative team. Follow again the Regular Wrestling, JJ Williams. And stay tuned. Me and him do our own simple session that might be the longest session to date. You know what? With how much I've connected with this gentleman, how much we can talk about, maybe I'll make that a special prior WrestleMania thing ahead of him heading out there. Because yes, folks, this man, he's going to be out there with all the shenanigans of all things wrestling during WrestleMania week. So if you can find him, give him a
I
look.
have counted And granted, tickets still need to be secured for a couple of shows, but I have counted 10 different shows
Yeah.
Walter and I are going to be at between Wednesday and Sunday.
God bless you and good luck and enjoy yourselves. And may you live to tell the tale of the Monday. Manu, I do see your hand. What you got to say real quick?
I'm impressed how JJ got the female vacant. The multi-championship winning female champion of all time vacant.
Well,
I'm
like I
impressed,
said,
JJ.
she holds championships across multiple companies. I'm not lying here,
You're
vacant,
not. You're not. And we see her. You're not. Dadgummit. I hate it, but you're right.
You can see her and like you can see John Cena.
Well, not anymore, but again, that's a whole different conversation. Thank you, JJ. And again, thank you to all of you. If you wish to further engage with me, find me, be part of City Predicting about these panels, or even be part of leagues, it's simple. Follow me on the X and on YouTube. I am Foster9016 for all things wrestling, for I am nothing more but a simple man and a lifelong fan of professional wrestling. Damn it! Again, I do prediction leads for WWE, NXT, AEW, TNA, GCW, and might I add, there is a triple decker this week for GCW. And that form will be due 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also Friday, so if you're part of the GCW League, make sure you get your predictions in. It's tomorrow on the West Coast, today here on the East Coast. So again, get those predictions in. And you can follow more information on that, of course, at the SR Studios 2024X. And of course, you can also follow the GCW Collective for further discussion and coverage, of course, in all the GCW events. Of course, part of the contingency here at the Simply Reliable Studios. He wasn't here, but I mentioned before how reliable he is. He will be my cohort on the call, hopefully far smarter than Booker T. So follow Walter Cruz at Rage of Wrestling. Get a guy, Buenos Timothy Reyes told you so. Again, follow Rage of Wrestling on the YouTube and Walter Alice Cruz on the X, as you see right there. I talked about our Mighty Morphin Pink Power Ranger earlier. Here's her partner in crime, the Yellow Ranger. Again, don't be a dickhead, despite the fact this is orange. Subscribe today at Shabadash at Bad for Wrestling. Follow her Batty Bracket Breakdown for the New Japan Cup. I will be, of course, reuniting with her towards the finals to look at our bracket and discuss who we believe will be the overall winner. It was a great conversation earlier, so please follow her today at Shabadash and Bad for Wrestling. I said earlier, I'll say it one more time. Shout out to our Ranger in Wrestling at Rangers of Wrestling. Follow Datilla. Got to get her back on this forum at some point. Always making her on Impact. Follow her on the X and the social media. See right there. Stay tuned for both Rangers to start their own pop culture podcast together too. That is further content to come here at the Simply Reliable Studios. And again, if you want further content from me, I also do predictions post-mortem with Papadino. As we break the stats and look at the stories that come and the stats that went into the stories of fought from our last shows in the WWE landscape, primarily my roster ability. So go look at predictions post-mortem relationship with me and Papadino. And follow Papadino today. He's a good guy. He got more to him than Tony D does as full-blood Italian, in my opinion. I respect him. And again, follow us about studios, all the channels there, the contingency. Again, we hope to be your one-stop spot for professional wrestling coverage. As I talked about earlier, you can always stay tuned for shenanigans to ensue at the Saturday Shenanigans. You heard the interviews that are to come. And then following that will be, of course, conversation regarding all the wrestling and so much more. Hosted by the Ranking Wrestling JJ Williams, the weekly moderate conversation wrestling madness that is the Saturday Shenanigans. Of course, we'll follow our interview with Kyle McKenna. And you heard about all that Pull That Mania Town. Again, get your tickets. Follow Ed San Antonio on the X. Go to Everbright. There will be a link in the description down below. You also will find a playlist of all the interviews we do on my YouTube channel, as well as a link to Pull That Mania. So get your tickets to this kickoff of all the shenanigans to come WrestleMania week in Las Vegas on this all-women's showcase supercard of professional wrestling. From talents of all levels of experience, internationality, talent styles, and technique, and gimmicks aside, as well as match stipulations galore, including, of course, the Pull Down Mania champion taking on Ms. Ballsy herself, Shotzi Blackheart, the current House of Glory Women's champion. Stay tuned, by the way, for possibly continued House of Glory coverage as she defends the title against Kula Kelly. And, of course, further content and coverage to come for all sorts of the biggest shows out of independent wrestling and the big shows as well. The next City Predicting will be next week, in time to be determined, of course, for the kickoff of the AEW Predictions League with AEW Revolution. That this gentleman will be going to live for his first ever pay-per-view, all the experience. Hope you have an incredible time. So stay tuned for that. Of course, the kickoff of the All Elite League. And shout out to Women in Wrestling. I want to give a shout out to one of my favorite promotions out of the UK. Of course, Pro Wrestling Eve with their biggest show coming up this Sunday, Wrestle Kingdom 8. Give them a follow today. Become a member on their YouTube channel at Pro Wrestling Eve. And follow this super card for Women in Wrestling, including Alex Windsor, Harley Cameron, Asume, Shuri, Willow Nightingale. Everyone loves Willow. Nina Samuels, Chris Statlander, and even Dakota Kai, Charlie, returning to professional wrestling, as well as Cesar Martinez going after the championship against Riho. That and so much more across the landscape of wrestling, and that pretty much concludes everything we're about here and what I'm about as a fan and what we do at the Stipulado Studios. But as always, let it conclude, there are no winners, no losers, no betters, just fans with opinions for this passion we all share. At the end of the day, folks, support one another, respect each other, protect your mentality too. Treasure your families, no matter how much they annoy you, and just live life and enjoy professional wrestling. It is truly as simple as that. But with that being said, thank you so much once again to all of y'all for tuning in, whether live or on demand. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and tell a friend. Hit the bells, videos, line down, and the channels here at the Continuously Stipulado Studios. Follow us today at SR Studios 2024 on the X. And hit the subscribe button. I assure you, the content, the creativity, the conversation, the discussion, the madness, the rants, and my blood pressure oscillating. It's not going to let up anytime soon. Of course, the next predicting after AEW will be, of course, TNA Sacrifice, and then, God help me, WrestleMania week is going to be a haul, especially with 2 nights of predicting for WrestleMania, because I'm not fucking mad. But stay tuned, of course, for our coverage of WrestleMania, headlined by CM Punk vs. Roman Reigns for the World Heavyweight Championship. And with that being said, I think now is a great time to leave you all to your evening, day across the world, or, of course, your sleep. So with that being said, make a positive impact in life. Have a good night. For the Dominguez says, for JJ, for all of you, I thank you so much and bid you all now a fine adieu. We will see you this weekend for all the wrestling, including NXT, to see whose vengeance is carried out too. Good luck to everyone in the kickoff of the NXT PLE Predictions League. And until next time, have a good night, folks, and thanks for tuning in to another edition of Simply Predicting. Take care.
Believe in Joe Hendry.
God damn it, JJ, you fucker!
His name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
Bloody fucking gags! I'm telling you, he's killing because JJ kills it every week we do this fucking damn Simply Predicting stream. God bless it! All right, I'm hitting the button. He had to get in there every time. He had to freaking get it in there. Every time.